Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the NFL DFS Slate Breakdown. We are looking at Monday Night Football. We got a two-gamer on our hands. We're going to be breaking that down. There are a couple kind of fun, interesting angles, and we could have a little closer games here than some think. There's one team on both sides that had a bye in week 4, giving some additional time to prepare for this week. And sorry, I mean week 5, not week 4. Now, I'm your host, Tyler Weeman. Let's dive into it and come join us at LINESTAR. We have a free trial. You get 7 days free. Go to our LINESTAR app website or download us on Android or iOS to take advantage of that. 7 days free. Come try us out. Now, let's dig into it. Let's start by a little overview of the slate. So we got 2 games. The first one starting at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time, and that is the Bills at the Falcons, 49.5 total. The spread is 4.5. The Falcons are home dogs, 4.5. Thank you guys for showing up. Josh, excuse me, always here. Appreciate you. Martez, Will, what's up? Does Penix throw 2 passing TDs? I think he's probably going to have to pass a lot. The Falcons have also had extra time to get ready for this game. So I think it could stay a little bit close. And I'm absolutely interested in Penix. Think he might be going a little bit under-owned. Think 2 passing touchdowns is absolutely in the wheelhouse here. Now, getting back to this. As far as the Falcons, their injury report, there's going to be no Mooney. I would expect Casey Washington to step in as the wide receiver 3 and play a ton of snaps. That's what happened in week 1. He played like 90% of the snaps, had 6 targets, 3 for 33. I think he's an interesting way to play this game, but I would expect a little bit more from him. Curtis Samuel, he's questionable. And then also Dalton Kincaid is questionable. Dalton Kincaid is one to really, really pay attention to here. If he is out, you're looking at Dawson Knox playing all of the snaps. He'll probably be low owned. And in games where Kincaid hasn't been there, Knox has came through a little bit. There is also the chance for Haas to play a little bit more. Now, Haas isn't a great receiving back, so maybe doesn't get too much work. Then on the Chicago side and the Commanders side, Loveland is questionable, probably plays. Santos, questionable, obviously as a kicker. We do need to pay attention to that news. We'll get that news well in advance. Terry McLaurin's out again. Chris Rodriguez is questionable. Debo is questionable. I would say Debo probably plays. It's been a heel situation that he has been battling through. Rodriguez, I would say, is maybe more doubtful than questionable. So I think this one is really up in the air. He could easily be out, and I don't think it matters too much to you Bill owners if he's out or in. When he came in the last game, he played 25% of the snaps. It was all in pretty much garbage time. So I'm going to say that Bill is in a good spot. All right, let's dig into it a little bit. As always, we're going to go position by position, starting with the quarterback spot at 6,900. We're at Jaden Daniels, 38% owned. He is your highest owned quarterback today. As far as our team defense tool, he also has the best matchup versus the Bears, who really have not been very good on the defensive side of the ball. The one aspect here we got to bring up is this Bears team has had additional week to prepare for this game. And I think that will or could cause some wrinkles that Commanders maybe did not totally expect from, what they saw on, say, week 4 tape. So Jaden now, 2.5 star alert score. The matchup versus the Bears is a fine one. This Bears defense has not been very good. The issue is Jaden. Jaden is still coming back from this knee injury. He was a full go last week, so I'd expect him to be a full go here. But last week, 8 carries, 39, so around his normal carries, appears that he's going to be fine and be able to rush the ball. Now, the matchup with Chicago is allowing 2.5 passing touchdowns per game and 221 yards. Bodes well for Jaden's arm, but what does not bode well for him is the fact that Chicago, 1.8 rushes per game allowed to the quarterback and only 15 yards. That's where a lot of Jaden's production comes from. Now, this is a 49.5 game total, so there is absolutely potential for a lot of scoring, and it's likely to come through this Commander side. My one big issue here is with Bill being so good or appearing to be so good, they may not need Jaden to do all that much. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, if you guys don't know, could do a lot of work, and it's a very good matchup for him. I think Jaden might be going a little over-owned in this spot. Next, we got Josh Allen, 7,700, 31% owned. He's versus this Falcons team who, as far as opponent rank, is third versus the quarterback, only allowing 150.5 passing yards per game, 1.3 touchdowns per game. So very low numbers here. Now, they've already had the Falcons did have their bye, so that will beef up this opponent rank a little bit just due to the fact that they missed the game. But all in all, absolutely interested in Josh Allen just because of the hero that he is. You're talking about going to Atlanta and a team that has had an extra day to prepare. Now, the Falcons are nowhere near as good as the Bills. And the Bills just lost on Sunday night last week. They got to be fired up with this in this game, and they're going to want to come in and win it quick. The ceiling that Josh Allen has is just ginormous, and with that alone, he needs to be considered, but he is so much higher priced than everybody. I don't feel like you got to go there. There is absolutely the chance that the Bills could take this game through the running game and win it that way on the backs of Cook, Ty Johnson, and Ray Davis. Caleb Williams is my favorite pivot as far as quarterback in this spot. Commanders have been a bit of a pass funnel over the last 4, allowing 276 yards per game, 2 passing touchdowns per game, ranking 27th. They're 22 on the year at very similar numbers, just slightly down from that. And then Caleb's been good. He adds some rushing upside. He 231 or almost 232 yards per game and 2 touchdowns per game, some solid numbers. He has a solid ceiling, just like Jaden or Josh Allen do, but he's coming in way lower priced and lower owned. I think Caleb, with an extra week, is super, super interesting to build these Monday night DFS contests through and build it around him. You got excellent stacking partners and bringbacks. Both games are at 49.5. So with your stack, you really just want to find the game that has the little bit of higher scoring upside. And to me, I do think that it is that Chicago and Washington game. There is some weather concerns, though. There is 10% chance of rain over there. Now, on to the FanDuel spot. We didn't go through Penix, so let's go through that one real quick here. So the Bills have been extremely good versus the quarterback this season, only allowing 1.2 passing touchdowns per game, but they are giving some rushing production up. Now, that's just not really what Penix does, so I don't think that's going to help him a ton. Richie Smalls, is overstacking one game with 6 or more players the way to get different? It is absolutely a way to get different, and it is one of my favorite ways to attack these slates is go real hard on one game and one passing environment. So Penix, I think you're fine to play. But at 6,800 on FanDuel, I think he's a little high priced. I don't think you're getting the discount that you should be. Fine to play him over on DK where he is 5K. I would just prefer go to Caleb. I don't think you need to go all the way down to Penix. Penix does have the upside to make it happen for you, though. As far as ownership over here, very similar as on FanDuel. Jaden, Josh, and then Caleb are the 3. All right, on to the running back situation. We got Bijan Robinson at 8,200, by far the highest priced. You have him at 82 and then James Cook down at 71. Now, he has a 4.5-star alert score in this spot. Looks like a decent spot. You do or can attack the Bills on the ground a little bit with them being, having some injuries to the front 7 here. All in all, Bijan's way too good to not want to go there or to not consider going there. One aspect, though, that I got to bring up is the Bills have been extremely good against pass-catching running backs, and that is where Bijan's really derived a lot of his value from. Now, he is an excellent pass-catching running back, and it's not like the Bills have really gone against too many elite guys in that category. If we look to the matchup tool, they went against Stevenson, Kamara, Achane, Breece Hall, Henry. So some really solid pass catchers, actually, but Kamara's just not being used like that this year. And then Achane versus Buffalo had 7 receptions, but only 29 yards. They've been able to keep the yards down there. So I like Bijan. I don't mind him. He's going to be your high owned. I think you can get off him, though. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 5,600. I absolutely love this spot for him. He played 45% of the snaps last game, and then Chris Rodriguez came and played 25% in garbage time at the end of the game. I think this is pretty much Bill's job, where McNichols is going to come in a little bit in passing game situations or passing down situations, but they might just be handing the reins over to Bill here, and I think he's in an excellent spot. This matchup doesn't get much better. Bears 29th opponent ranked versus running back, allowing 140 yards a game, allowing 0.8 touchdowns per game to the RB. And I think Bill is in a great spot. I'm probably going to play a ton of Bill. Next, we got DeAndre Swift, 36% owned. He probably shouldn't be this high owned. The Commanders have been very, very tough versus the running back. They are giving some receiving work up, so Swift can get his work done through there. But versus the run, they've been very tough, and unfortunately, DeAndre Swift really hasn't done too much, especially in the running game. He's struggled to get 63 yards. That is his top in the rushing game this year. Now, that was against Detroit, who actually does have a good run defense. But all in all, I think Swift is just going to go a little higher owned than he should. And I don't think the ceiling is really there for him. James Cook at 7,100, I am absolutely interested in. Now, the Falcons have been extremely good versus the running back, so that is a little bit scary. But this offensive line is super good, and Cook just keeps cooking. And I think something that is going under looked this season is the fact that he has played 72% and 73% of snaps the last 2 weeks. You go back to week 3 and that's 67%. This guy is playing an elite level of snaps, putting up giant scores, and if he is going low owned, I'm going to be all over him. Save some money from Bijan, get some lower ownership, and I think he's in a great spot. Now, we got to talk some backup running backs. A lot of the times on these small 2-game slates, it's the backup running backs that get it done and get you a touchdown, differentiate you a little bit. So you got to consider these guys. Jeremy McNichols is going to be a passing game involvement. I don't mind going there. Now, he doesn't have the upside as, say, a Bill, but Bill is high owned. McNichols is obvious leverage off of him, likely to play around 30%, have some involvement in that passing game. So fine going there. Tyler Algier, you want to run against the Bills. If the Falcons are able to stay in this game, what happens is Algier ends up getting real solid carries. Now, if they're down big early, Algier gets taken out of the game. So it's a game script play. If the Falcons are able to keep pace, keep scoring with them, or get a little bit of a lead, Algier has some reasons you'll want to play him. Kyle Monangai is healthy and ready to go in this game, and he's been playing between 28 and 40% over the last 3 weeks. He could bang one in and definitely help you at 4K. Then Ty Johnson is the receiving back for the Bills. He is only playing like 20%, but if it's a situation where they're passing, he could be in the game a little bit and get one done. I don't totally love him, but there is pass. And then Ray Davis is their third running back. And if the Bills are in a blowout, then Ray Davis gets some run. All right. On to ownership on FanDuel. Bijan, Bill, it's the same ownership pretty much. James Cook going under owned over here as well, but you don't get the price discount you do on DraftKings. I still like Cook. I like Robinson. We do have a 4-point difference in their projection, which is a lot for only 500. But I think at ownership, Cook on FanDuel still makes some sense. All right, DraftKings. High ownership, we got Drake London and Rome Odunze. Now, these two teams, I think it's very interesting as they had a bye last week. We might see some changes from these teams, what they do. And the place that I see the easiest change is with the Bears. We got Luther Burden, a top draft pick who has been productive when he's been on the field. And now he has had, 4 NFL games and a bye. There is the chance that the Bears mix things up a little bit and he plays a little bit more. So I think Burden is a very interesting play. If he plays more, I would expect Zacchaeus to play less. So, if you want to attack, that direction, bump up that Burden projection, bump down Zacchaeus, and play it that way. I think that is an interesting one. Falcons wise, there's no Mooney. Ray McLeod is there, but he's really struggled to find a footing in this offense, even with Mooney missing time. It is pretty clear that London is the clear-cut one, and then after him, it's kind of a hodgepodge of guys, but I do think 3K Casey Washington is one to consider as, he's a rookie that got love, or second round guy that got love a second year, got love week 1. And again, when somebody got hurt last week. So I think Washington is absolutely interesting to watch as a 3K kind of dart throw. And you have this similar situation in Washington where it's Debo and then a bunch of guys. McCaffrey keeps getting plays, but McCaffrey is only playing like 30 to 40%. Jalen Lane is playing right around the same, but McCaffrey does keep making plays, so maybe there's a chance for him to play a little bit more. Chris Moore is the one that stepped up in the kind of like a sacrificial X role since McLaurin has been out. He's been playing, 57 to 70% of the snaps, but just doing absolutely nothing with it. So as far as these high-owned guys, I absolutely love Rome. Think he's in a great spot. The Bears WR1 and 2 both have some of the better matchups on this slate as far as our matchup tool. 24th versus wide receiver 1 for Washington and 29th versus wide receiver 2 for Washington. So Rome and Moore in absolutely great spots with 4.5 star alert score, and they're giving up 151 yards a game and 1.2 touchdowns. I think that is one that I will definitely go after. And as I said, I mean, the Bears or Caleb Williams, one of my favorite quarterbacks to go with. I think Moore and Ozune are cheaper than they should be. As far as the Bills wide receivers, it's always very, very tough to figure out where you're going to go, but I would be going to Coleman. I think he is the most likely one to play that 60-70% chance. Him and Shakir really have been splitting the targets. They're number 1 and 2 in targets on their team, and it's very, very close. Coleman's just getting less owned, so I would rather that side just play the ownership matchup for it. High owned on FanDuel, we got Drake London, Samuel, and Coleman. If Debo's playing, he's, locked in for another 8 to 10 targets, and obviously you need to consider him in a high game total versus the Bears. I don't mind going Debo and Bill, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, little stack there with a run back of a Bears. If you want to do that, I think that is an interesting way to do it if you then stack the Bills and Falcons on the other side. All right, over to tight end. Ertz, Kmet, Pitts, Kincaid. It's pretty hodgepodge group of guys there. We do have to throw out, there's the X factor of Colston Loveland. I mean, this is the 10th pick in the draft. He's barely been used. He sat out last week or week 4, had a bye. He is questionable, but if he plays, there's absolutely a path to him getting some extra playing time. And at 3,100, going low owned, it makes some sense to go that way. I don't hate the play. You're not giving up a ton of ceiling. I mean, as far as Ertz, Kmet, Pitts, Kincaid, like, there's not a whole lot of ceiling there. Kincaid's been solid, but he is still only playing, like 50% of the snaps. The chance of him for 2 touchdowns is low. Pitts has some ceiling because he could go for 100 and a tutty. He, does have that kind of explosiveness, but I don't know if the targets are going to be there. Without Mooney, he is the second option. So I don't hate going that way. As far as matchups, we have Kmet or Loveland, if Loveland is now takes that role, but I don't expect it. Kmet is probably going to be the tight end 1, and Loveland still trying to take that over. But hey, wild things have happened after a bye, and that could be one change that they make. Ben Johnson has said they want to get those guys involved more, and having a week, 2 weeks to prepare for this game makes some sense for him to make some switches like that, some personnel switches to get these guys in play. Ertz is obviously in play as well without McLaurin. Daniels loves him for whatever reason, keeps going back to him. Absolutely a red zone threat, and that's what he needs to, get it done and be optimal is a tutty. But I would say be mixing and matching these guys, and we got to watch that Dalton injury report throughout the day. Defensive-wise, hard to go against. Everybody saying the Bills are in the best situation in this spot. I like them. If you want to pay down, however, get a little different. This Falcons D has been all right. 2,300. I mean, outside of the Bills, all three of these guys are in pretty interesting spot or pretty similar spots where you're just paying down to get different. The Bills are pretty clearly are the easiest click there. You're really taking chances with any of these guys. So make sure if you are using all them to just mix it up and, make your defense kind of go with the lineup. Don't go too hard on say the Bears if you're going to play the Commanders D. If you fade one of Cook or Robinson, who's your choice? Richie, personally, I would be saying I would probably fade Bijan. Tough to say that, but just the fact of his ownership being so high and his price so high, I would rather kind of go to Cook if you're playing on DraftKings. If you're playing on FanDuel, the pricing is a little different, but I still probably got to go to Cook because the touchdowns mean more, and I think Cook just has a better chance of multiple touchdowns. All right. Well, that is gonna do it for us today, guys. A nice breakdown of this slate, getting through it all. I hope you guys have great luck today and week 6 out with a win, and we will be back in a little bit with some props. I've been struggling a little bit with props this in this slate. Don't love this slate, so I might come at it a different way than normal. Stay tuned. That'll be out shortly. You guys have a good one. Please come join us at LINESTAR. We do have $39.99 per month. Gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all. We also have that free trial. If you've never tried us out before, come do so. Thank you, guys. Talk to y'all later.